from Albuquerque, New Mexico in the USA. Very, very far, but I'm very, very grateful to be here with all of you. I'm here to introduce to you Belinda, and I'm also here to offer a small background about why I'm here, because it'll tell you a little bit about maybe why you all are here tonight. About 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to begin a collaboration with Belinda and VetKat. The art that you see behind us is a treasure, and clearly it's something that we have as a group organized to commemorate, to honor, and to preserve. We're here now with you as a bit of a celebration. We're trying to celebrate this new step into what we like to call a rite of passage, where our intentions become reality. Where for years we've had the intentions to build something bigger than ourselves, to build something not just with the Khoisan, but from the heart of the spirit of the Khoisan, who understand way better than most of us what our responsibility to this earth is, what our responsibility to one another are. And so I think that for me, having been on this journey for many years, it's a sort of a return to the commitment I made all those years ago to be present and to uplift those voices from the Kalahari. I am honored now to share with you the space that we can take a look at the arts, purchase some of the art if you're interested, have a conversation about what you see in the arts, because it's not just prints, but it's the story of why this image has come onto this canvas in the first place. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Belinda, a person who, without the diligence and without the commitment to understanding the story and the wisdom of the Khoisan, we wouldn't be here today. So if you wouldn't mind putting your hands together.
It's Mr. Johnson over there, who thought I wasn't going to be here tonight. And so he employed my brother to hijack me and keep me locked down at my mom's place for this family. Thank you, everybody. It's a give and take situation. I doubt whether I would ever have known the San or the Bushmen, as I prefer to call them, if it weren't for people around. Because in each and every contact I've made over many years, I've met exactly what was told to me around the fire for almost 35, 36 years, living as a married lady under a culture that's completely foreign. My mother probably wanted to send me off to space a few times, thinking, what is this? But I found nothing different living in the bush. The only difference is we live with what everybody's striving to achieve today with a very low carbon print. And even hand-me-downs to the family that I come from was an insult. From second-hand clothing to anything. It's a very proud community. And even in my ignorance at the time, I thought the best way to work, oh shame, we can bring them food, we can bring them tourists. All of that has been like a explosion after 35 years, and also the importance that it is still necessary. But this time around, we are going to teach ourselves how to be when you enter the rite of passage and the sacred valleys of all indigenous people across the world. Everybody's been abused, whether it's the Amazon, the Navajo, and a lot of people, a few here, has traveled those destinies and those routes to understand it is true what I'm saying here. There's been a lot of chosen angels over the years, and we all made mistakes. We all thought development and helping the Bushmen or the indigenous people is about even education. Actually, the best we can do is just let them be and love them because of who they are. I had to coach many people, including Mr. Lewis here, who's a wild Bushman of heart, who dared to take on a lot and have me coach him how to be and draw this project. And he did. But again, the ancestors and the spirit says it's still not us. No matter what we do and what we try, if you can't stand together right now, I think, I don't know who are people of corporate businesses, would you be able to bring your businesses together and make the world a better place? Would you make all your data available as one group? Whether you're transport or Would you just throw the whole pool together and make a difference? No, so the Bushmen wouldn't either. You can't pull them. Individually, they're your best strength. So I always believed if I focus on one individual, we're going to have a success story. So I started with VetKat's art, but since then, many other Bushmen. I even focused on the Bushman who's coaching me, the people like John and people who've been there all the years, Lee and Ian and my mother and them. I focus what's inside of you and I shake that, because it doesn't matter whether you start at home picking up papers, you're making a difference. But to feel pity for communities, to feel all of this is about giving back and collaborating, how to find solutions, you're wasting so much time and energy. If I'd run this country, and I would run the whole world and give back to the indigenous people, I would basically tap into your bank accounts and deposit 1% of all you get, give it to the people and say, sort yourself out, what is it that you want to do? Because even to this day, they can't tell me. I've been crossing by foot. And then Kalahari, the Karoo came together in the last 2 months. It's been the ancestral spirit. I decided to fast and to be with the land and to really focus with intent by using all the medicine at my disposal, what Lee taught me, what whoever taught me over the years. I get voices from the graves, and I thought, okay, all you have to do is you have to open the eyes so that people can understand it for himself. So right now in Ladysmith, people have begun to clean up the streets, and the local farmers are beginning to just be there, driving it away with their own vehicles. There's just a lot happening at various levels. And I've pleaded this in my talk. I only did a few because I don't like doing public things. But I always say it's not about who you are, what you are, where you're going. It's about what's inside your heart. Because as the late Opadal Kruiper said, bring the hearts together. So to me, this is the gathering of hearts. The mother who had to endure a daughter going haywire, and always there at the other end, no matter what. Even when they slandered me, when they ripped me apart, she'd say, don't judge them. Don't pay attention. Just look after yourself. And when I neglect myself, the Bushmen would fight me and say, don't do this. You come from a family of good background. Don't become like us. And that is my value and my gift, is to be myself and take instructions, because the best thing we can do in the planet is to be obedient. If I say slow down, my spirit is guiding us to slow down. Thank you to Siyaka and the teams that dared to business coach me. I think they did more than what I would ever do. I switched it around so they could do the work seriously, because the BEEs are being attacked. And I think they're doing amazing things. They have patience. And if it could be explained, if we can always tell the ground exactly, be transparent. John, a friend, I don't know who he is, he's just always been around, but he'd always explained to me how it works and what may work, but you decide. Sharing information as you go, instead of sitting in the boardrooms and making decisions and boom it out into YouTube and then think we must understand. I don't know, Michael, but no indigenous people would. They constantly just grab the bottle or the best way out, because God will take care of us at the end of the day. More people are dying because they fear being hungry, they fear being without, they fear when the lights go out. And death just comes to everybody, but the best gift you can give yourself here tonight is to rethink your entire module of existence, whether you're a businessman or a person on the street. It's nothing to be transparent, it's actually the best. Everybody says, shouldn't be saying what you're doing, this one is going to hijack us, you're allowing it. Just be, and be the true South Africa we used to be. I remember Pokemon's story, when Thomas's daughters hated Pokemon because everybody fights. And I thought, wow, I met them, there she is. She was how old? Thomas, how old were they? That was my story, why I trusted Thomas to do the prince, because his daughters were angry at the fighting going on. Imagine how the Bushmen feel that everybody's fighting about them all the time. Who's got the best shot? Who's been with the Bushmen? Who can post them on the internet? And every day, all they're asking, just for a little bit of water, it doesn't even have to be fresh. It can be totally salty. Love and compassion. Treat them with dignity, pour the money in, and we can have a total carbon-free footprint for the future without changing anything, just your heart, and bring love.
I just want to say thank you, everybody. Okay, Michael, am I loud enough? Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming and giving your time to be here. But just some special things, and it's and the reason for that is there's been people that's been around a while now trying to get this thing off the ground. Michael, your journey started 20 years ago with VetKat, and yeah, you still are committed to get this task off the ground. John, patience, diligence, make sure.
I lost a husband half the time.
Make sure the guidance is there. I appreciate you for that, and you were leading Belinda in the right direction. You know, she doesn't want to be routing, and you're there to just harness it all the time. T-Mac, thank you so much for your support and involvement with this project. We're looking this. Johnny made a statement. I think your wife made a statement. How you start, you decide how you start. That's how you will end. So that's also important for us. My KP team for your support, sponsoring and giving me the time off to go to the desert. I appreciate it. And for the fuel, and yeah, and Siaka, John, Mr. Johnson there said I mustn't say anything. But also your diligence in getting this project off the ground and working closely, and your experience in the desert. You were so overwhelmed by experiencing the desert and putting your feet in the sand, feeling it. So yeah, it was a very interesting trip you had. Quick, fast, but I mean it was very inspirational to be among the people there. So I just want to thank everybody for your time, and we'll keep you posted on the website. Please follow the website of where we're going to go, www.vetkat.co.za. Professor's busy with the 3D gallery. He's come to do that shoots, and that's why the reason for him being here. So the 3D gallery, all the images will be up there, and the eggs and everything else. So that's his project. And thanks once again, Prof, for coming out. Thank you, guys.
And that's the salient. So a couple of things is that to help Belinda and to help the foundation, how do we start building the community that is outside of this exhibition, but talking to what Belinda's vision is for the foundation is that the art pieces here are on sale as reprints, right? So if you want to order these, you can order them. They will be printed here on site. They will be embossed. You'll see there is an embossed on the prints, so you will know that it's an original print out of that. So you can choose any one of these. There are some orders at the back. If you want, you can place an order. There are some individual pieces at the back that is also up for sale. And then Belinda's book is there. I think we're very lucky tonight to have Belinda with us. So Belinda will autograph the book for us, right? And with that comes a price. So we want to create that emotional connection that we have with tonight, with the Bushman, and with Belinda, and how we start building that. So there are books here. Belinda will sign it, and then we can just talk about how we move forward. Any questions, or any of us on the panel? One ask.
Say something.
Yes, there is an attendance register floating around. So we just want to start capturing a database for the foundation. So when there's new stuff happening on the website, when there's updates, when there's newsletters, when there's a big kind of event or celebration that is attached to VetKat, to the foundation, people will get to hear about it. So we want to start building that database. Yeah. Any questions? No. I'm probably standing between you and another drink. Thomas, do you want to say it, please?
Yes.
First of all, thanks very much for everybody coming. Great event. The most people ever in that gallery at one time, that's for sure. But 20 something years ago, Belinda came into my studio long ago. And that was when I was exposed the first time to something totally different. I mean, I dealt with pictures all my life. I studied art, and just to make life with art education because I get ideas. I did photography, I did advertising, publishing, the works like that. So I got exposed to all sorts of art, all sorts of pictures from all styles and ages and material. But this was something different. All of a sudden I said, hey, every single one of these images is want to tell me a story. There's something in there which I actually want to go after the picture and ask, what do you mean by that? Why? Yeah. They're not only pretty pictures, they are something you want to actually engage with. And but because I had to digitize these pictures and scan them and photograph them, and I had to look at them, and not that I had to, I wasn't forced to, but it actually was mesmerizing. They said there is something like it reminded me of hieroglyphics or of Chinese script. There's actually a tree in the Chinese symbol of growth, and the tree can be grown either with big roots, which means it's a strong tree, or it can be a thin one. Yeah? It's a different meaning. It's almost like poetry, and each one of these things, like hieroglyphics or whatever, they mean something. And there's a lot of symbols in these pictures. Everywhere, it's text with symbols. But we don't really understand them. Now I'm sure if there would be a building company and they dig out some tablets in North Africa somewhere with some scripts or something on there, which they don't understand, they pass it onto the phone and he goes to the boss and the boss goes to the scientists. They say, yeah, it would be on the front page of the National Geographic. There's a visual communication that's thousands of years old and hasn't been understood yet. And we got that here too. It's thousands of years old and nobody's really has had a chance to actually read it properly. So it has to be exposed, it has to be, and the main thing is, they're actually still happening. There's still artists doing exactly that, with the same roots, for the same reasons, and with the same emotions behind it. Now, if art is the finest form of communication, then visual communication is between the music, which is easy because it goes straight into the bloodstream. You know a sad song from a funny song, you know this straight away. Or poetry is on the other scale, because I understand the language, you have to understand the whatever, but it goes through lots of filters. So the visual art is in between. You see it, you get it into your senses, and it says something to you. Now, if you look at any one of these pictures and clear your mind, it's going to tell you a story. And I think that's why it's so important that we actually expose it, let people actually see it wherever we can, and try and get the formula. And that's communication, that's what the world needs now, because all the trouble in the world now are because there's no communication, or very little communication, or divided, or specified, or what you want to call it. Everything's got a label. These pictures haven't got labels. They are a message that we're trying to understand. And that's pretty much that's my angle from here.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Here's your opportunity to get another drink, as Michael mentioned, get some snacks, take a look at the art. Belinda will be around for a bit to sign, sharing stories about the arts if you have questions. I may come around and I will capture your photo or video if that's okay with you, but otherwise, thank you again for coming. Thank you again for hosting tonight, and just please enjoy yourselves.